This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is smoke and fire. This is high stakes and wild cards. This is family and tradition. This is everything on the line. This is it. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas. The South Point 400, a NASCAR playoff race, October 10th through 12th. Get your tickets now. LVMS.com.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book. Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching?
This total has really crashed without plumbing the lineup. I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
It's Sports by the Book at the South Point Studio. Here's Jeff Parles and Alex White.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome in Sports by the Book here at the South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White here on a Wednesday. We only have one more day until we get actual football games happening again. It's the best time of the year. Playoff base or home stretch baseball, and now, of course, the NFL and college football well underway now, Alex.
It is the best time of the year, definitely. Excited for tomorrow's show. And while we are a little bit quicker and shorter Thursdays, you want to tune in because we're going to have some dogs to talk about in college football. And Thursday, Fridays are usually kind of like that in standalone games, spotlight on these teams. So best efforts from the underdogs. Well,
we got Wake Forest and North Carolina State tomorrow, along with the Washington Commanders and the Green Bay Packers to kick off week 2. Also tomorrow, good friend.
That one.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one, right? 2 playoff teams from a year ago, 2 teams that look great in week 1. Well, 1 team that really looked great in week 1, which we'll get to in our power rankings just in a few minutes. And our good buddy Dwayne Colucci joins us tomorrow. So we'll have Alex and I here on the show here today. And Alex, let's begin with updating everybody on the futures book here at the South Point before we go anywhere into our power rankings, before we give an update on a game that was actually off the board yesterday. And here you go. The Buffalo Bills are still your betting favorites. Not a shock. It took a long, windy road to get there on Sunday night, but Buffalo, of course, pulled off the short upset in dramatic fashion on Sunday night against Baltimore. Plus 550. The Ravens are now 6-1. The Packers are now with the Philadelphia Eagles as the shortest shot out of the NFC at 8-1. The Rams also still stay up there at 10-1. Kansas City dumps down to 12-1. It's been a while since we've seen those sort of numbers on Kansas City, and deservedly so. Niners at 14. Chargers, big movers up to 16-1. Denver at 18-1. And then the big mover down is the Detroit Lions all the way down to 20-1, along with their division rival Minnesota Vikings, who are also at 20-1 after their win on Monday night against Chicago.
I think all those adjustments feel right after week 1. You don't want to overreact, though. And, man, Kansas City definitely don't want to overreact with them. I was just thinking if the Chargers come into Las Vegas and look really good and their odds dump even lower for division, we might be getting some really good value on a Kansas City Chiefs team who we know can show up big time when it really matters. So it'll be interesting. We'll definitely keep track of these just like we did with baseball all year long.
Injuries, of course, a big issue right now. We don't, again, for Xavier Worthy, missed the whole game. Left on the third play of the game on the collision with Travis Kelce that dislocated his right shoulder. Boy, again, no Rashee Rice. So
Yep.
that's where we're at right now for Kansas City. Again, big game against Philadelphia as the Eagles are a road favorite right now. You see, this is the bigger move. This is a huge move in the NFC. I know Chris talked about how they've been plied with Green Bay money ever since the Micah Parsons deal, and then the confirmation bias showed up in a big way with just a thrashing of Detroit. It was 27-13. It really wasn't even that close. Detroit's touchdown was on a 4th down when the game was already over. The Packers really took the foot off the gas pedal and was very conservative on offense in the second half. The Packers are now co-favorites in the NFC here at the South Point with the Philadelphia Eagles, and then the Niners, who, Alex, George Kittle's on IR. Brock Purdy's dinged up. I didn't think they were overly impressive. I'm a little surprised that the Niners get adjusted to being the 3rd favorite in the NFC now after a close victory on the road in Seattle.
I think with the Niners, kind of like the Bills aren't necessarily the best team in the league, but they do have an easy path there. And while they are in everybody's top 5, right, that definitely helps. Niners come in with a really easy schedule. So with all the injuries, still should be able to take care of business in a lot of these, but it is the NFL, right? A lot of good athletes out there week in and week out. So it's not going to be easy, even though their schedule does appear to be. Should be interesting. Another one is those Lions, though. I don't want to overreact. If they come out and look really good against the Bears and beat them pretty easily there, we're going to see those odds switch back pretty quickly.
Yeah, I don't want to say, again, it's too early in the season to see must win. Obviously, we know it gets very difficult if you start 0-2 to make the postseason. You start 0-3. There's only a handful of teams since they expanded to 32 that had even made it with 0-3. Lions have Baltimore in week 3. As you see on your screen, they host the Bears in a battle of 0-1s in Detroit. 6 now, up from 5.5, which makes a lot of sense that the market is on Detroit in that one against Chicago on Sunday afternoon. All right, real quick, Alex, before we look at our power rankings, and boy, we had some changes this week in our power rankings, even though somehow I managed to have the same top 10 teams. I just changed the order a bunch. I know you didn't have that be the case for yours, but the one line from yesterday that was off the board, San Francisco is 4.5 after opening 6. It was off the board until this morning. Again, George Kittle's on IR. Brock Purdy's banged up. We expect to see Brock Purdy in that game, but a little bit of a move down because even if Purdy can't go, him to Mac Jones? I know we like ragging on Mac Jones, but I think that's most 2.5, right? Probably between Purdy and Jones.
I should have brought.
I wouldn't go. Probably wouldn't.
I want to go more than 3, right? But
I would. I think 3 is too aggressive, especially if Purdy's already dinged up.
Yeah.
Maybe
right,
if it ends up being Mac Jones, all right, maybe we see 3, which would be an absolute play on San Francisco for me, even without Kittle, and it's just much better than New Orleans. So see how it plays out. I still expect Purdy to go on Sunday afternoon. Again, Niners 1-0. Saints didn't quite get there on the number, but look competitive against Arizona. 20-13, pretty nondescript, low-scoring game in New Orleans in Week 1. All right.
Yeah, I will say Spencer Rattler looked much better than what we saw from him last year. A lot more comfortable there. Over 200 passing yards for him. Not the best of completion, 27-46, but a lot better than what we expected and what we saw last year.
I just thought his decision-making was better. He had to throw a ton because the run game was ineffective, other than Kamara's touchdown, which was a 20-yard run. But other than that, the Saints did nothing on the ground with the running backs. Again, it's gonna be tough sledding. Gonna be tough sledding in New Orleans, regardless if it's Rattler or it's Shuck at some point at the quarterback position. It just isn't a lot there. All right. Power rankings in the National Football League. We unveiled our college football power rankings yesterday. We both had new number 1s in college football. Alex had the Ducks. I had the Buckeyes as our number 1 teams entering Week 3. I don't think we have any change at the exact top here, Alex, but we have a lot of changes behind the number 1 team here. And you're up first here with your power rankings here going into Week 2.
Yeah, my 1 and 2 stay right there from last week. So I did have the defending champions in the Philadelphia Eagles number 1. Not the most impressive of wins over the Cowboys, just 302 yards, but 158 on the ground. We know that their run game is going to continue to be strong with Saquon Barkley. And slowest, they were 33.7 seconds per play, which goes back to their O-line. Best O-line in the league. So I'm keeping the Eagles right there at number 1. Baltimore Ravens lose by 1 at Buffalo. Didn't take too much away from them before that win, really, with the turnover kind of going through the box score. Could go either way there. So Ravens still number 2 for me. 8.2 yards per carry, 8.6 yards per attempt, number 1 in the league in both of those categories. Green Bay Packers jump up ahead of the Lions here. Highest power score for me by far. 2.5 points better than the next team. Held the Lions to just 13 points. I think that was even the most impressive. And then 8.5 yards per pass for Jordan Love there. Lions, I didn't drop them off too much. I still think that they have the talent there. It's just a matter of putting it all together. New play callers on both sides. It was really the 3.8 yards per play, though, that was kind of alarming. So I'll have to monitor and see how they do this week. But interception, so you got to add in that turnover as well. Probably could have been more like a 10-point game there against the Packers, and they were on the road. Commanders bump up for me. I was very impressed with what I saw from the Commanders. I think they may have a shot to actually win that division. Second in yards per play behind Baltimore against the Giants. Everybody's darling, including us. We talked about they had a very good defense and they have the talent there, but dominated 432 total yards to 231. Buffalo Bills move up. Number 6 for me now, which probably could be knocking on the door to get higher, definitely. 497 yards, but just 108 rushing yards. Baltimore really contained them on the ground. But thanks to Josh Allen, they might be a tough team to handicap because he's kind of looking like Patrick Mahomes, and you just once the ball's in his hands, he can make it happen. Number 7, Tampa Bay. I think they did move up a little bit as well. Not the most impressive win over the Falcons, but 3 touchdown passes for Baker held Atlanta to 20 points, even though their offense looked a lot better. So I'm keeping them right there or bumping them up a little. Kansas City drops down. 347 total yards, only 98 rushing yards. They did have 5.8 yards per carry and they were playing from behind. So I didn't take them out of my top 10. I think the Chargers are really good, and you'll see that they came in at number 9. So move both of them. Chargers move into my top 10. Chiefs move down, but I still have the Chiefs ahead of the Chargers. Herbert, 8.2 yards per attempt, and they had 318 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns. Looked very good, controlled the time of possession. And then Denver Broncos bumped down all the way to 10. Had them very high last week coming into the year. A lot of concerns there. Still think they have one of the best defenses, if not the best defense. They did have 4 turnovers to the Titans 2. So that score could have been a lot more lopsided if they wouldn't have turned the ball over so much. But Denver Broncos at number 10.
So, Alex, on my end, I kept my same 10. I did not move the Chargers in despite how impressive they were. They're 11. Tampa is at 12. So the 2 teams that are missing from yours or in yours that are missing from mine are just knocking on the door of the top 10. If the Chargers come to Vegas and win this week, they will be in the top 10 for sure. And Tampa's got a not so easy game on the road at Houston as well. They went on the road, both of those teams. I'd be surprised if they're not in my top 10 next week at 11 and 12. Houston, by the way, even with the close loss, still at 13. So all those teams still almost famous. Philadelphia's number 1. I'm not going to move them off. I mean, that game was a totally different game once the lightning delay happened. They also play without their best defensive player in the game. And Jalen Carter's an idiot. I mean, there's no other way that the spit at the beginning of the year. So that defense was not what we're going to see all year. You remove your best defensive player, of course your defense isn't going to play as well, especially when Schottenheimer and Dallas's offensive staff had been legitimately having the script the whole summer. No wonder Dallas's offense started to struggle when they went off the script last week. Buffalo's at 2. They were 2 last week. I'm not going to move them. They're still there. Baltimore, I actually moved up a spot to number 3. I was fully prepared to move Baltimore, obviously, to number 2. But you know what? Again, your power rankings are all numbers based. Again, as we've talked about, Alex has her model. Alex is all mostly numbers. Mine's more of just a mishmash, and I got to throw the intangible of the Baltimore Ravens in big spots are not that good in comparison to what all their numbers are. They're the best in the world against bad teams. They were look like the best team in the NFL for 3.5 quarters on Sunday night, but then the light bulb went off. for no apparent reason, and you just can't figure it out with a team that's in a 5-year stretch of being the best team in NFL history by DVOA not to win a Super Bowl, and they haven't won one. There's something else there that's more than just the product we see through the numbers. Green Bay's at 4. I was very close to actually launching Green Bay all the way up to number 2. That's how impressed I was with their defense. And Jordan Love, and this has always been the case with Love, you know this, Alex, when he's making good decisions, he's awfully difficult to beat. The way you beat Green Bay is get Love to turn the ball over. He didn't do that on Sunday. That's why Green Bay ran Detroit off the field. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're all basically the same now. And honestly, I'll extend it out all the way out to number 12 with Tampa. They're all basically the same. I couldn't justify moving Washington ahead of the Rams because I had the Rams ahead of Washington already going into last week. Ram defense was significantly better than I thought they would be, which if that defense is going to play like that, again, especially against a lot of mediocre offensive lines that are in a division, don't love Arizona's O-line, San Francisco's O-line other than Williams, if he ever goes down, mediocre. We know the Seahawks don't have a good offensive line. Rams at 5, Commanders at 6, Lions and Chiefs. You brought this up when you talk about the Lions. It was hard to figure out what to do with the Lions and the Chiefs this week for me because how much of Detroit was just the first game with not bad, but coordinators, new coordinators. How much of it was that, and how much of it was that they played a really good opponent, or how much of it is, hey, maybe that opponent's not quite as good, and the Lions aren't as good as we thought. That was a little bit difficult for me. Kansas City, they're just so battered already at the wide receiver position. I mean, if you're going in with Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster as your top 2 receivers for the first 6 weeks, that's a problem. Especially when you play Kansas City, when you're playing in Kansas City against Philadelphia next week. Even at home, they're an underdog at home. Bengals were awful, but I kept them in the top 10. Again, I can't quit them. We know that. And then Denver, I moved down because I'm terrified of Bo Nix still. I am terrified about him because that was early season Bo Nix we saw on Sunday, and they were very lucky they played an offense that had no chance against that top-tier defense. They played a real offense. They would have lost that game on Sunday, but their defense was more than up to the task and made Ward look like a rookie on Sunday, Alex.
Yes, they did. They are very good. So the 2 differences for me right there, Rams and Bengals not in my top 10 yet. Rams are close. I think it's Rams, Vikings, and Niners are the next 3, and then Bengals right there, of course. But
Minnesota's close for me. Again, I actually can extend out to all the way to the minute because Minnesota had to be moved up a lot for me because their defense is still good, well coordinated, and boy, again, let's see McCarthy put together a whole four quarters. But man, that fourth quarter was impressive, especially when he had been so dreadful for 3 quarters in his first NFL start. They're well coached. That's another thing too. Like, look at both of our top 10s. Like, Zach Taylor in my top 10 is the only head coach I don't trust. Everybody else I trust. Alex, in your top 10, like I know you're higher on Todd Bowles than I am, but I mean, look at those coaches.
An argument. I can't.
Look at those other coaches. Like the Chargers, Harbaugh's a top 5 head coach.
Right.
So there's correlation with coaches that are clearly high end. Even though I have my questions about Sean McDermott still, but even after all these years with turning Buffalo from the biggest loser in the NFL to a perennial winner every single year. All right, that's our power rankings. Alex, I'm very interested, and I know we'll break this down on Football Frenzy, and we'll break it down on Monday again next week because it's a Monday night game.
That's right.
I am super interested to see how the Chargers look against the Raiders on Sunday because we were having lunch with Chris yesterday, and his power rated number came even higher than the current number of 3.5 was on the Chargers. And I thought 3.5 was crazy high. So I'm very interested to see how both of those teams look. Maybe the Raiders just beat a bad team in New England. Maybe that's the case. But, boy, 3.5 at home, division game.
It is interesting.
Ooh.
I was surprised to see my number did come right there as well. So on a neutral, I would have the Chargers 3.5. But I would like to give the Raiders a little something for home field with, like you said, division game here, season opener at home. So I did give 1.5. So that, I don't know, that still feels like such a key number, 3.5 there, that it's going to be worth it. Even if I have 2.5, 2 or 2.5, I think that 1.5 difference is huge in this one. I think they can keep it close, but it will be interesting.
Based off of the power ratings, that's the one that I'm a little bit, I think you and I are both higher than Vegas than a lot of people are.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We will have plenty of time to talk about that one on all these games here this week.
I was happy we weren't as high on New England, too, because that definitely gave us a good play for this first one. I am really good Monday night games, and we'll talk about it in depth. And you brought up Houston and Tampa Bay.
Good one.
We talked about it. Houston's O-line, it's a problem. And I don't know. I think they might be in trouble with Tampa Bay.
It's funny. I thought Stroud actually played pretty well, but they didn't score a touchdown in the game. And their offensive line gave them no chance. That, by the way, has gone sub-3 now in that one. So, yeah, I know the threes were there in the early goings, but they're not there anymore. By the way, those are updated MVP odds you see on your screen from DraftKings. Without the star, with the star is the FanDuel one. The biggest movers were the NFC quarterbacks in Jordan Love and Jaden Daniels, really more so Jordan Love, who at DraftKings is now the third favorite. At FanDuel, he is 11-1 as the fourth favorite. And McCarthy, where's JJ? Jay says
75-1.
I would not bet JJ McCarthy to win the MVP, guys. I know we said all summer, don't bet him to win comeback player of the year because what is he coming back from? He never played in an NFL game, but 75-1. What? So is he 35-1 at DraftKings then, Ryan? Yeah. Okay. So FanDuel. Let's put it this way. There are some prices that are significantly better at FanDuel, and that one is one of them. I think that 75-1 on McCarthy is much more correct than 35-1 than it is at DK. Then comeback player of the year. Yeah, it's still Dak, Hutchinson, or McCaffrey still leading the charge at that one. Even though, Ryan, you said Daniel Jones was 7-1 at DraftKings now? Said plus 750 at DraftKings, and he's 19-1 at FanDuel. Hey, if Daniel Jones plays well, you can make a legitimate argument, even though, again, we're not based off the way the award is technically supposed to be voted on, to paraphrase, and this will not be the most eloquent way to put this, Alex White, but we're not supposed to be voting for the guys who stunk the previous year or two,
right,
and then voting them for comeback player of the year. We're not supposed to be doing that anymore. It's supposed to be guys coming back from injury, which Prescott, McCaffrey, Hutchinson, and Trevor Lawrence would all end. Well, I know Chubb technically played last year, but he was a shell of himself last year.
Yeah.
Those guys all coming back, and Crosby too, all coming back from injury.
You can make a strong case for Dak Prescott. If he can put up numbers, he will be close to the MVP or Offensive Player of the Year. But
Could be.
Instead of giving him that, especially with that defense,
Comeback,
right? And he's chasing. Instead of giving him one of those two, because you will have Josh Allen's and the Lamar Jacksons and maybe Derrick Henry.
Well, Derrick Henry, I think right now would. Ryan, do you have those? If you don't,
so they would give him that one, I think. But then again, they don't want to have too many offensive players.
Yeah, I think right now, if I were making the numbers, I would make Derrick Henry the betting favorite to be Offensive Player of the Year because we know the voters don't like voting quarterbacks in that award for whatever reason. So, my guess would be that Henry is the betting favorite right now. Yeah, plus 425 he is. It's him, Christian McCaffrey, Bijan at 9-1 at DraftKings, and then plus 950 on Chiz. And then, oh my goodness, FanDuel, hey, I'll give you a little bit of round of applause there. All those numbers are better at FanDuel. I will say, I wish the Falcons were just not so boneheaded because Bijan, we saw it on the touchdown at the beginning of the game, and he played so well the whole way. They might finally be utilizing him correctly. Might be finally doing it. But we saw all the idiocy at the end. Like, you can't you miss a field goal at the end after the great drive by Penix and then also give up the touchdown after the great touchdown drive by Penix. I mean, it's just classic Atlanta Falcons all the way around. By the way, I love the Falcons this week. Save me for myself, please, Alex White, on that one. All right. That's a lot of good football talk here on the show. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, ticker trivia, poll question as well, and we also will have a full card of baseball when we get back. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio, live here on a Wednesday morning.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rockin' dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grand View Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grand View Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grandview Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas, the South Point 400, a NASCAR playoff race, October 10th through 12th. Get your tickets now.
Welcome back, Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff, Alex, we're here on we're on Wednesday. It's hump day. It's not Tuesday anymore. And there we go. Been a while since we've heard that in the studio, actually. Shout out to our friend Frank Nicotero, as always. All right, Alex, let's go to baseball, and we begin with day ball in San Francisco, where the Giants, they've been getting bigger and bigger and bigger, like Giants would in the rearview mirror. That is a horrible joke there. That's not even that funny. 2 games behind the Mets entering today's action. Again, the problem for San Francisco is they do not have the tiebreaker on the Mets. Mets won the season series 4 out of 6. But the Giants playing well, trying to sweep the Diamondbacks out. And again, the Diamondbacks are now donezo at this point. It's Seymour and Rodriguez. This is not a particularly great left-handed pitching matchup here. San Fran is a -120 favorite. They moved 10 cents. I think that's right, Alex. You're just betting the streak here. And a total of 8.5. Yeah, I know they lost 2 out of 3 in St. Louis over the weekend. But other than that, I mean, the Giants have been playing better than anyone in baseball about over the last 2 weeks.
I was actually going through a lot just trying to find that in their last 15, but I only found last 10, 7 and 3. I want to bet the Diamondbacks so bad, though. I think there's a much bigger pitching advantage here with Eduardo Rodriguez, and not even a huge Rodriguez fan, but I do think he is better than Seymour. So I think that there's some value there getting that plus price. It does just worry me. The Giants are one of the hottest teams right now in baseball, and their offensive numbers definitely are better than the Diamondbacks as of late. So probably going to pass. I don't like the 3-game losing streak. I don't know where the Diamondbacks are mentally, kind of just giving it up for the year. But I think if you made me bet it, it would be Arizona.
After a 5-4 loss at AmFam Field against the Brewers, the Giants were 61-68. They're now 74-71. That's 13-3 in their last 16.
Wow.
So a hot streak. And again, we talked about this. Other than the 7 games with the Dodgers, they had a very easy schedule down the stretch, and they didn't even fully take advantage of that in St. Louis. They dumped 2 out of 3, including blowing leads late in those 2 losses. So again, they're alive. The Mets are once again playing terrible baseball again for the last 4 days. So there is a chance again for San Francisco. All right, let's go to Miami. For whatever reason, the Marlins just can't beat the Nationals. I don't quite understand it, Alex. Nats yesterday, again, another over, 7-5. Should we just be blindly betting the over these next 2 games in Miami here? It's Perez and Irvin with a total of 8.5. Miami is correctly a -145 favorite in this game.
They are, and I thought it was Perez going yesterday, and they switched late, and I was trying to make the case for the Marlins with Yuri Perez going, but now I can't do anything because the market is correct, as you mentioned. Miami -145, but I don't want to lay that with a team that's been struggling. And the Nats have won 4 in a row coming into this, so you got to factor that in as well. I wouldn't hate the over. I definitely wouldn't be betting the under here. I think the Marlins can score on Jake Irving, and I think the Nats are one of the hottest offenses in the league right now. So, it'd probably be over and pass. It's better than laying minus 145 with a bad team.
Can't really argue on the over or pass with the way these games against each other. I mean, they played each other now over the last 2 weeks. These teams have played each other 5 times, and the last 3 games have gone over. So, struggle of the pitching for both of these teams in this series for whatever reason. All right, let's go to Philly next. The Phillies. Go ahead, Alex.
I forgot, too. I mean, as much as I like Yuri Perez, Washington did just get to him pretty good. Only went 4 innings and 7 earned runs in that one. So, yeah, stay off of the Marlins.
We can go to Philly now on this one. Sanchez and Holmes. Of course, Christopher Sanchez has been brilliant this year, especially at home. He's a minus 160 favorite tonight, plus 145 on the Mets, 7.5 the total. Again, New York's leading the wild card down to 2. The NL East, look, they haven't officially clinched. They can't officially clinch until next week. But Philly wins tonight. It's a 10-game lead. And really, at this point, it's just a matter of can the Phillies somehow catch the Brewers for the 1 seed. Without the tiebreaker, I don't see that happening. But the Phillies, what they at least have done, the NL East is over, unless if we get an all-time collapse. I don't know if the Mets are capable of winning 9 games anyway the rest of the year. But Philadelphia really giving themselves a little bit of a buffer over the NL West teams as well for the number 2 seed in the National League, Alex.
My question is, mentally, are they thinking that they've kind of already got it, or do they want even more of a buffer here?
I think this is the Mets have embarrassed them this year when the games have been in New York.
Yep.
I think this is give it back to them more so than anything. We've seen that through the first 2 games of the series.
Well, in that case, I think minus 160 is pretty cheap price here on the Phillies at home. I think they should be a $2 favorite with Christopher Sanchez going, and at home from June till now, I mean, a 1.42 ERA and a 0.79 whip for him. So I think he can pitch well again here in this one now, especially a little bit of bounce back spot, right? He got hit up in New York against the Mets. He went 5 1/3, 6 earned runs on 8 hits. So, yeah, I think Sanchez will be ready to go. And I think Phillies is the right side at home.
2-game lead for New York in the race for the final wild card spot over San Francisco. They're 3 ahead of the Reds, who we'll get to in 2 games from now. But there you go. It is tightened immensely, and the Mets just trying to hold on to that final spot like they had a year ago. Remember, it clinched on the final day of the season as a 6th seed and ended up in the NLCS last year.
Total-wise, 7.5. I know we have 2
above
average pitchers, but I would too. I think that is a little low here. I could adjust it down to 8 for Sanchez, but we just saw the Mets get to him, so they may be able to get a few runs there.
Let's go to Atlanta. Cubs ended their losing streak. Still 3 games ahead of San Diego for that first wild card spot. Again, that's important because you get the games at home as opposed to having to go out to either Petco Park or Dodger Stadium potentially. It's Jameson Taillon against Chris Sale. Sale's a big favorite here, minus 175, total of 8. Alex, I understand it's a big pitching advantage for Atlanta, and I know the Cubs aren't playing particularly well, but I see plus 160. I'm like, all right, well, you know what? I'll take a little bit of a piece of it, and if the Braves beat me with the better pitcher, so be it, right?
I can't fault you. I think all those numbers are correct, but if you wanted to take a shot there, Jameson Taillon, a little bit injuries throughout this year, but coming off a rehab through 68 pitches in AAA, should be ready to go. And in August, 19th and 24th, back-to-back starts for him. Looked really good. 1 earned run, went 6 innings against Milwaukee, went 5 against the Angels. So I think he could go head-to-head here with Chris Sale. I mean, Chris Sale, though, 132 strikeouts in his 102 innings pitched. So he has just been back to Chris Sale form this year, and it makes it a little tough. But couldn't fault you for taking a big price here. He's
revitalized himself in Atlanta. Cy Young, of course, a year ago, and now, like you said, I mean, we're way over strikeout an inning. I mean, we're north of 11 per 9 on Sale with those numbers. He's been great. He broke a rib.
Yep.
He missed about 2.5 months with that broken rib injury.
Diving for a...
Well, he was trying. He could smell that complete game shutout in that game before that injury.
The last 6 starts, he's gone at least 6 innings and 1 earned run, 2 of them scoreless.
They have a very interesting decision on their hands. I think they have to pick up the pick up the option, the team option. But boy, you could get a lot for a deal with Sale this offseason if you wanted to, if you're Atlanta. But I think if you're the Braves, you have to just treat this season as, hey, this is the season from hell. We're going to be just fine again next year with that core that is still high end with all those young guys, Acuna and Riley and Albies, and now Drake Baldwin apparently as well. So
It'll be interesting in general, wouldn't you say? Because, I mean, the rookie pitchers this year have been the story.
In the NL especially. I mean, the AL a little bit different. Obviously, Kurtz has run away and hid with the AL rookie, but I mean, look, if Drake Baldwin wins the NL Rookie of the Year, it's probably because Horton and maybe not Mizorowski, but there's a vote split behind Baldwin. I think Horton should be winning the NL Rookie at this point. I'm not sure the Cubs are even in the playoffs without his pitching this year. All right, let's go to San Diego next. Well, Cubs would have been in the playoffs anyway. Horton's your betting favorite, but still, they could be in a real race with the Mets, the Reds, and everybody else right now, as opposed to being safely in as that 4 seed. San Diego's up next, Alex. Let's get Nick Pivetta and Andrew Abbott. Good pitching matchup at Petco tonight. Reds get 2 in the 9th to beat the Padres. Boy, Reds really missed a golden opportunity in this series. They had a chance to win game 1 as well and blew it. But here you go today. Pivetta, not quite as good the last few times out as he was through the early portion of this year. A -140 favorite and a non-surprising low 7.5 tonight at Petco.
I'm not going to do what I did yesterday and give all my weekend money back. I'm going to be selective on my picks. This is one of them. I'm going under 7.5. I like both of these pitchers a lot, and I think that that's way too high. If you want to go first 5, I can't really fault you there, but I do think both bullpens can do enough in this to keep you down. But really, I mean, looking at their median numbers, Andrew Abbott, 5 2/3, 1 earned run for him, and then on the other side, you mentioned it, Nick Pivetta. 1, 2, it's right there for the median, but 6 innings pitched for him. So I think we're going to have a low-scoring one here. 4-2 was the final yesterday, 4-3 the day before. Let's get one more of those here today.
I like the under. I'm with you. Maybe first 5 under in this one's got to be, it's a 4.
Wow.
Maybe we go that route. Maybe we just take the 4, even under. Not even worry with the bullpens now. San Diego's bullpen, last night notwithstanding, is awesome. But Reds bullpen, we know, not the most trustworthy.
I think a lot of those guys actually went the last few days, too. So bullpen might be
Let's go first 5 under here. Get some good starts out of these 2 pitchers. All right, let's go to L.A. next. Dodgers doing what they're supposed to do against the Rockies at home. They've taken the first 2. They go for the sweep here tonight before they before they go to San Francisco for 3. After this game, the Dodgers start a huge stretch of 3 at San Francisco, 3 against Philly, and then 4 against the Giants. And they also wrap the season in Seattle as well. So not after this game, it gets progressively more difficult for L.A., whose lead is only 2 in the NL West over San Diego. Now, granted, they have the tiebreak, so San Diego has to get in front of them. Blake Snell's a huge favorite tonight, -360, $3 on the other side on Freeland, and a total of 8.5, Alex.
What do we get from Freeland today? 2 games ago, he's ejected, has that thing with Devers. Then he pitches against the Padres. 8 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, no walks, 2 hits, no earned runs. What do we get tonight?
Probably not good against the Dodgers. That'd be my guess, but who the hell knows? Again, the Rockies, so the Rockies have to win 3 more games, right? Get to 43. At this point, avoid 120 losses. I don't know. I mean, they've got the 40. They're midseason 39.5. No good to the under, Alex. You're already there. You didn't even have to sweat it. 3 weeks to go in the season. And Colorado got there on the midseason over.
Man, I don't want to jump in on the Rockies now. Maybe the Dodgers have figured some things out. They won 3 in a row. But that's pretty tempting there. 3-1, maybe a run line. +135, +1.5 there for the Rockies. I just think that's still a little bit too high with Blake Snell, who's not completely back into form. Gave up 5 earned runs against Pittsburgh coming into this start as well. I don't know. Maybe Freeland is dialed in now.
Ryan McCormick just pointed out, and it's also a testament to that the NL West just has not been as good as we expected it to be, because in a year that we thought the Dodgers were, the Dodger win total was the easiest under of everywhere. It was 103.5. not even going to come close to that. If the Dodgers are having a season like that, this is what happened a while ago. But after last night, the Rockies are now officially more games behind the Dodgers in the NL West race than they have total wins.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
I mean, we would have, if the Dodgers were on the pace we expected them to be this year, we probably would have had that. We might have had that even in July. But the Dodgers, big underachievers, even if they win the NL West this year. Win total 103.5. Expected them to be the best team in baseball again. They're going to be lucky to hold on to the NL West at this point, Alex.
Let's talk about the Padres. What
Please.
a disappointment. I mean, this is your year. Look at the Diamondbacks are down. They sold everybody. The Giants finally are figuring things out, and the Dodgers are not having the best year.
I agree with you,
The
Alex.
Padres should have as many wins as the Phillies and the Brewers right now and leading this division.
And it was, again, last week was such a missed opportunity for San Diego because you had 6 games against last place teams. You dump one in Colorado. Look, Freeland was awesome, but still, you can't be dumping a game in Colorado at this point in a real race. And he got swept at home in Baltimore.
Yep.
And by the way, the Dodgers won 1 of 5 last week. Like, I'm with you. This is a golden opportunity for San Diego where you're right. I think they should be, with the way the Dodgers have underachieved, it should be like a 1-game difference between them and Philadelphia for the 2 seed and a whole different discussion as opposed to, San Diego might have to go, very, very well have to go on the road to Chicago in the first round, which, by the way, regardless of who ends up with the 6th seed, whether it's the Mets or the Giants, assuming Cincinnati doesn't sneak in the back door, you get Dodgers Mets or Dodgers Giants and Padres Cubs. Oh, baby.
Padres Cubs.
Wow.
Good, yeah.
Those are some high-end series right there. Leading into the division series. Again, it's kind of what happens when Milwaukee, who has the best record in baseball, is not that interesting to most people. All right, let's go to Sacramento, Alex. The Oakland Athletics have scored as many runs as the South Point studio crew has the last 2 days. Connolly Early was amazing in his major league debut for the Red Sox yesterday. 6-0 win after Crochet was dominant the day before. So now another lefty. Peyton Tolley makes his 3rd career start for the Bo Sox here tonight. Mitch Barnett goes for the A's. Minus 120 on Tolley and the Sox. This total's been at 10.5, but the juice has just moved all over the joint here. Currently juiced to the over here at minus 120.
That's the only way I would look at it. I definitely think that the Red Sox can get to Barnett. We've seen his last 2 starts, gave up 5 and then 4 to the Angels. And the way the Red Sox are hitting, so I can't do anything here. You got to add in for the Red Sox win streak and the Athletics losing streak, and you land right there, minus 120. So lean to the over, but I don't love it, especially if the A's aren't hitting right now.
Up next, Alex, let's go to the Angels and the Twins. Taj Bradley, Jose Soriano, total of 9. Again, this has been the case with Soriano. Great as a dog, bad as a favorite. Favorite today at minus 135.
Really quick to add to that last one.
Please.
I forgot about this, the fact that both of these pitchers are pop-up pitchers. So if we get a little bit of wind there in Sacramento, I didn't know if we checked the weather, but because it always reminds me when I see Soriano, because he is one of the best ground ball pitchers.
It is we're talking for the
Athletics and Red Sox.
Okay. Where is the weather report? It's chilly. 74 degrees on light wind. So
Okay.
not too bad.
All right. So that could lean to the over a little bit too. So keep an eye out for that. But sorry, going back to the Angels here. I like the Angels in this spot. I like Mike Trout leading off and DH in there. I like Soriano. I think he's much better than Taj Bradley. I like the fact that they got a 12-2 win after the Twins won 12-3 the day before. And I think the Angels can keep it going here. It's a matter of if you trust them enough to lay a price. But I think the price is correct. You're not getting a huge amount of value. I will just say that. Made it 135. It is 135. And usually we're going for value there, and you're laying a better price than, and you think that they should be a bigger favorite. But I do like the Angels side here.
This has been a totally nondescript series, right? 2 teams that are completely out of it with Minnesota and the Angels. All right, let's go to Cleveland next. Royals and Guardians. I don't know how the hell Cleveland's back in this race. I don't know. They stink, and they're here. This is a legitimate thing at this point. They're now ahead of Kansas City. Kansas City's now basically done at 4 games back. Yep. It's 2.5 for Cleveland. Again, Mariners doing what they're supposed to do against the Cardinals this week. Good on Seattle. But here you go. Cleveland. I don't know how Cleveland's 74-70. Not a good baseball team. Bolin and Allen, a battle of left-handers. Total of 8, basically a flip in this game. Royals actually are now the betting favorites in this one at -110, Alex.
Man, pitching for the Royals has been all over the place. I had a different pitcher, but it looked like he was just going to be the primary. So maybe he is actually, it's a bullpen day. I think you might have just said that. Guardians, Logan Allen. I am not a big Logan Allen backer. Guardians didn't win 5 in a row. I'd be betting the Royals again here. But I just can't do it. But I really want to. I think Kansas City can get it done here and stop this 5-game win streak from Cleveland. But it's not going to make my board.
Up next, Alex, let's go to New York. Huge 7th inning for the Tigers last night. Turned what was a tie game into a complete laugher in the Bronx last night as the Tigers go on to win 12-2. Carlos Rodon's going to go for the Bombers today. Jack Flaherty, we've talked about it. Detroit, better at home than on the road. Look, I know Flaherty's had his problems on the road, but +150? +150? It seems steep, right?
Yeah.
Total of 8 in this one, Alex.
Yeah, that is very steep. I didn't even look at that. I was looking at the total. I think 8 is too low. And I know Rodon has been awesome at home, and looking at his numbers, a 3.07 ERA and sub-1 whip for him at home since June. I don't know. The way the Tigers are hitting, I like the over, and I like that plus price. So I think both of them, I'm going to bet them separate and maybe a little bit together.
Up next, let's go to Toronto. Drama north of the border last night. Jays scored 2 in the 9th. They get 1 in the 10th, a 4-3 win, a big one at that as well, to stay ahead of Detroit in the American League. You see it again, a half game ahead of the Tigers for that number 1 seed in the American League. Even though Houston's winning the division, they're worse records than all the teams in the AL East playoff picture at the current moment. -140 on Berrios today. Jason Alexander +125, total of 9. Cheap price on Baltimore, right? With Alexander going on the other, or excuse me, on Toronto, I should say. Sorry, brain went to the other birds. But cheap price on Toronto here, right?
I agree. Yeah, I think this is a Berrios spot and a Blue Jays spot, especially because they did have that comeback win here. So they've got all the momentum. Astros just keep finding ways to lose, shoot themselves in the foot. So I like the Blue Jays again here today. I do think that's a cheap, good price on Toronto. Now, the only thing that does scare me is Mariners have won 4 in a row. Rangers have won 3. So the Astros, I mean, I think they know that they got to find some wins every way they can, even if they got Jason Alexander on the bump. So I probably won't bet it today. I feel like I got pretty lucky with the Jays yesterday, but I agree with you. I think they should be closer to $2.
I would have expected at least -170 in this game with this pitching advantage, right? I just, for Toronto, again, got to keep winning. Got to hold off Detroit. Again, they do have the tiebreak on the Tigers, so they end up in a tie after 162. The American League playoffs go through Canada. How about that? It would be the first time since 1993 that it went through Canada. Of course, the Jays have been in the playoffs since then, but they haven't had the best record in the AL since that season. All right. Let's go. We can be quick on this one. An unknown starter on the south side of the Chicago for the White Sox. Bullpen game for Tampa. -135 on the Rays. +20 on the White Sox. Total 8.5 in this one, Alex.
Quick is right. It's a pass for me. Got there with the Rays yesterday, and I'm going to stay off of it today.
All right. Let's go to get something a little bit different. The Rangers have taken the first 2 off the Brewers down in Arlington, but they haven't made up any ground on the Mariners because the Mariners have handled their business against the Cardinals. Yep. Here you go on this one. You got Freddie Peralta and Merrill Kelly. Total of 7. Milwaukee has been as high as -140 in this game, currently sitting at -120, Alex.
I think we've missed the best of it. If you could get +115, I think there was some value there with the Rangers at home getting that plus price. Freddie Peralta has been awesome, though, and he is a slight pitching advantage even over Merrill Kelly. I think both pitchers are very good. I adjusted my total down, but right here at 7.5, so I'm not going to go under. Tried to make a case for first 5 under. It is 3.5. I don't love that. Both their medians, though. Merrill Kelly, 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, and then on the other side, Peralta, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. That's under 3.5 if they can both be lights out here today. So lean to first 5 under. I do like both of them going. Lean to the Rangers at home, but I'm going to stay off of it altogether.
Up next, let's go to Baltimore. Wild game in Baltimore yesterday. Orioles end up winning in extras. And the reward for that is Paul Skeens. Skeens against Wells here tonight. Total of 7. Skeens is up to -150 on the road in this one, Alex. Okay, can we just, before you give your thoughts on this game, I just want to throw out there, and maybe I feel like I was a little bit guilty of this, of a little bit poo-pooing of how good Skeens has been. Dude's going to finish the year with an ERA probably no north of like 2.1. He's pitching on a team that's a complete dead end.
Yeah.
And you're going to win his first Cy Young award. It is outrageous how good he has been through the first year and a half in the majors. And I'll just say this, and maybe I'm speaking for our guy, Chris Andrews, more so than anything, the Pittsburgh native himself. Can we please put a real team around this pitching staff in Pittsburgh? Can we please do that? It's not like that division is overpowering. I know the Brewers are the best team in baseball record-wise, but that's not sustainable. The Cubs have a very big offseason ahead of them with decision-makings of do they give Kyle Tucker the big contract or not, and what else do they do if they don't? But can you put a real team around Paul Skeens and company in Pittsburgh, please? He's just that damn good. And obviously, at some point, look, I don't want to speak it into existence, Alex, but we know what happens with pitchers. They get hurt at one point or another. Can we please get this team before that happens with Skeen if it were to happen, Alex? Please.
I'm glad that you said that because, a lot of times we get caught up because we're just betting focused, right? So we're looking at the numbers. We're making a case for Zach Wheeler. We're making a case for other people. And then you forget, just the greatness right in front of you. So, yeah, a sub-1 whip on the year, 195 strikeouts, 39 walks. He's been great. And he doesn't have a winning team around him to talk about it more. And I think that does get overlooked a lot. With that being said, the Pirates have definitely started giving him run support. I think this is a pretty cheap price. You mentioned it. Orioles battling the last few nights and come into this after extra innings. So I think that's a good price. -150 here on the Pirates. I don't know if I'm going to bet it. I don't know if I'm that brave to go against this Orioles team that keeps finding ways to win. But if I were to, that's the only way I'd be Pirate side.
It's a big price, but again, Skeens has been so damn good this year, as we've talked about. And he's been unbelievable lately. It's just insane how good he's been since that one-back clunker against Milwaukee about 6 weeks ago. All right. Mariners and Cardinals. McGreevy and Gilbert. Big favorites again, the Mariners are, but they've handled their business the first 2 games of this series. Total 7.5, -220. Logan Gilbert, huge price, but justifiable, right?
Yeah, I think it's right. I really do. The crazy thing is, we always avoid those home teams in the run line, but you're right. Mariners covered exactly by 2 the last 2 nights. 2 low-scoring games overall, but I don't really trust McGreevy on the other side coming into this off of a rough start against San Francisco at home, 4 innings pitched, 6 earned runs, so wheels kind of fell off. Maybe he's due for a better game here, so I guess I'd lean to the under with both pitchers at this ballpark. 7.5 feels awful high for both of these offenses, too.
Yeah, I can't blame you on that. In that ballpark, no less. Again, Mariners entered today 1.5 games ahead of Texas for the final wild card spot in the AL. And also, too, don't look now, but that's a 1-game lead for Houston in the AL West. And Houston's only 2.5 ahead of Texas. The possibility of the Astros missing the playoffs is there. Yeah. I'm not saying it will happen, but it is there right now with the Mariners and the Rangers close on their heels right now.
Just want to add to this one, too, really quick with the Cardinals. McGreevy, because I did grab his home road splits, and I forgot he's got a 6.99 ERA at home and a 2.70 on the road. So, yeah, I think he's going to enjoy pitching here a lot. And while the Mariners have their big bats, I don't think they're all that scary. So I might add that 7.5, even though I don't have a huge difference. I think a 7 is my number, but we'll take it here. Under 7.5 for these 2.
Can't blame you. Can't blame you on that one bit. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll give you the answer to the trivia question. We'll see what the poll did. And Alex will have her whiteboard here on Wednesday, September 10th, right here, Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
Once you've satisfied your hunger, get ready for more of the hottest casino games in Vegas. Our 24-hour 30-table non-smoking poker room proudly hosts all the most popular poker games with a variety of betting limits. Visit the poker room for a schedule of daily tournaments. Whether you're going to hold 'em or fold 'em, the best place for poker is at South Point Casino. You'll notice that our craps tables are usually the loudest in the casino. If you've never played, join one of our free craps lessons to find out what makes this game so exciting. Check with the craps dealer for schedules and give it a roll. Bingo is also an exciting way to spend your time. We offer 7 sessions of bingo every day. And each session includes a cash ball jackpot, 12 bingo games, a progressive double action game, and a $10,000 bonus coverall. Electronic units are available. If you haven't played bingo with us, give it a try today. Guests can also get in on the action at our one-of-a-kind race and sports books. 2 separate rooms designed to maximize your experience and comfort. Our sports book, with over 400 seats, puts you right in the middle of the action, 24 hours a day. The friendly ticket writers are happy to help, and it's conveniently located next to the famous Del Mar Deli, where you'll find supersized portions of delicious deli items like roast beef, pastrami, and Reuben sandwiches, or soups, salads, and pizza, plus spectacular desserts fit for a king. And right next door is the race book, over 150 seats, each with its own TV screen. There are 16 interactive player terminals, so you can bet right from your seat.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book. Sports by the book. South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching?
This total has really crashed without plumbing the lineup. I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
We're back in at Sports by the Book. Alex working hard on her whiteboard, which will be ready momentarily. I'm Jeff Parles. Alex White's also alongside. Let's hit our ticker trivia here today, and we go to tennis. Again, congratulations to Sabalenka and Alcaraz on winning their U.S. Opens over the weekend. On this date in 1988, got to get that right, multi-time Grand Slam singles winner Steffi Graf won her first U.S. Open title in New York. Of the 4 tennis majors, which one did Graf win the most times in her playing career? And that, of course, was the All England Club in Wimbledon on the grass. 22 majors total, 7 of them coming in England and Wimbledon. Boy, what an unbelievable player Steffi Graf was. And JR got it right. Of course, out here in Vegas now, right?
Yes.
As we know. But JR gets it right here with Steffi Graf winning Wimbledon the most of all of the titles. French Open was close. Same with the Aussie as well, but it was Wimbledon in the end with 7 singles titles. Poll question was, which team do you think will most likely slide into a playoff spot out of the Guardians, Rangers, Giants, and Reds? Ooh. And the Giants were the ones who won. I would vote your way with the Rangers at this point. Alex, Vince, how about tomorrow we do one with the team that falls out of the postseason and get the Mariners, Astros, and Mets going on that? Maybe we'll do that tomorrow on the poll, especially when the Mets lose to Philadelphia tonight and the lead's only 1 in the National League wild card chase. You ready to roll on your whiteboard?
It's better when the Mets are in it. I guess you could say
well,
that.
Well, it's better for me.
Too,
I don't know about everyone else, but it's better for me.
Hey, it's you either love them or you hate them, so it's better in general, I think. And Astros, I think I'd be okay with them falling out. I want the Mariners. We want to see that pitching staff. We want to see what they did with their bats. Let's see if they can make a playoff run here. Even though we're all on the Tigers here at the studio, we want the Tigers. Here we go. Plays on this Wednesday for me. I've got 2 full unit bets, and then I'm going half bets for these 2. Jeff pointed out it's a great price, and then kind of a feel. I like this last one here. So Reds and Padres, first 5, we're going under 4, avoiding the bullpens because it has been a tough series between these 2. Tigers, Yankees, I'm going over 8 with Flaherty and Carlos Rodon on the bump, but 2 of the best offenses, and we got the short porch there at Yankee Stadium. Half unit plays, Tigers with Flaherty. I'm taking that plus 150. just beat the Yankees 12-2. That's what makes me nervous and why it's not a full unit play, but I definitely think there's value there. And then Cardinals and the Mariners, we're going under that 7.5. It's already been a very low scoring series. Don't expect the bats to wake up too much here. I think McGreevy and Gilbert can do just enough.
The Cardinals and the Mariners, real quick, just throwing it out there. I got to give Seattle credit, and I meant to bring this up before, because that was a really bad series in Tampa 2 series ago. Like, they were embarrassed. And you win 2 out of 3 with 28 runs in the 2 games you won in Atlanta, and now you've come home and you're playing exactly Mariner baseball these last 2 games.
Yep.
Credit to them. Again, only 1 behind the Astros entering today's action in the American League West and still holding on in that AL wildcard chase, a 1.5 clear of Texas. All right, tomorrow on the show, we're already back. It's beginning of a football week again. We got college football. We got a great NFL game with the Commanders and the Packers. We have our good friend Dwayne Colucci tomorrow on the show as well. Looking forward to that at the same time here at 10 a.m. Pacific time right here on Sports by the Book. Again, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're following us all the way across social media. Jerry, Vince, and Ryan, and Drew Dog and Sean, thank you guys as always. Alex, good luck. We'll turn it around here today with baseball. And we're back with football tomorrow. Sounds like a good plan here on the show. She's Alex White. I'm Jeff Parles. We'll see you again tomorrow. This has been Sports by the Book live here in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada at the South Point Hotel and Casino.